Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Medabots Rokusho. The last time we started off the game and did not have much happen because the first 20 or so minutes of the game are actually really boring. And we also ended up getting the Rokusho set of parts along with the Kuwagata medal. And now we're going to head to school, but first I do want to show off the Medabots functionality. It allows you to take a detailed look at medals, including some of their in-depth stats. Have your entire Medaparts list. There are a total of 480 parts between the two versions. And you can also, obviously, on the top, just customize your Medabot, but we don't have anything to customize with right now, so let's just head on over to the school. Hey, Erica, what's up with the robot contest? You're late. It's already over. Looks like the leader of the Screws was the winner. They've got full control of the place. Oh, well, let's talk to people and see what's going on then, otherwise. Geez, they might be the champions again this year. I guess that means they've done it before. I'll have to do laundry when I get home. That's a running thing with him. The row battle competition was exciting. Can you get out of my way? I want to go to school. My Medabot may have lost the row battle, but he'll take anybot on in a relay race. Maybe. You see, you think he's joking about that, but that is eventually a gameplay element. If there's someone who thinks they can send him to the Skrulls... Skrulls? That's a word. Do you want to give you a chance? Okay, I'll take it easy on you. Nah, I'm a pacifist. Thank you very much. I really don't want to fight. Do you want the headline of the school paper to read, Icky skillfully chickens out? Well, do ya? Come on, Erica, give me a break. There's no way out of it now. Go get him, Sloane. I'm gonna mess your clothes up. Okay, then. Time to fight Sloane. Sloane is actually a bit of an annoying fight because his Totalizer Medabot that we have here uses the, I believe it's the laser line of attacks. This is the first time we're seeing it. Laser, I believe, is an aim shot type attack that does a lot of damage. In fact, I probably should go over the general attack types, but I'll do that in a moment. One thing I should say is save before doing this fight because you're doing about 3 fights in a row. In terms of the, well, first off, general strategy for this, just use Scout first turn to raise your attack success rate, then just go all out with Peepo Hammer. Because Totalizer is a tank-type Medabot, and they are really slow on the plains type of field like we're on right now. Whereas a two-legged Medabot like us has the advantage. And just hope that his laser doesn't hit your head Medapart. In terms of attack types, starting off we have what I just used there, Berserk, which is a powerful grapple attack, but you cannot evade after using it, and it usually has chain reaction, which as you've seen by now, if a part is destroyed, overflow damage will go to other pieces. Partner to that is the Strike, like the sword that my Rokusho has, which is just a quick grapple attack, lower damage, and it doesn't have chain reaction, and you can dodge afterwards. There are Defend commands, which do as you'd think. It's a defensive ability that's used to either block damage, protect allies. That'll come into play later. There's Heal, which is self-explanatory. It restores the HP of Medaparts, brings back broken ones, or revives dead Medabots, but that's a fairly rare one right there. There is Shoot and Aim Shot, which are basically the equivalents to Strike and Berserk in that order. Aim Shot is more powerful, but you cannot evade afterwards. So on and so forth. Support is general ally aid. It's not HP healing, but it's stuff like boosting their speed and such. Also, this hurts. Let's see, that critical hit, which is already a bad sign. And there go my legs. Great. Thankfully, though, when your legs get destroyed, you can still move fairly quickly. It all depends on what kind of part you're using in the field you're on, though, because it's kind of a case-for-case basis. Either way, going back to what I was saying, the final type of attack is the Interrupt attack, which is the rarest, honestly. Interrupt has the largest amount of effects, too. It can either cancel attacks, Medaparts, actions, and/or abilities, or through a specific ability known as Transform, it can do Strike, Berserk, Defend, Heal, Shoot, Aim Shot, or the support abilities or actions, while still retaining the Interrupt command, so it doesn't have any of the stigma related to those abilities. Like Berserk, I think you can still dodge if it's Interrupt type Berserk. Which is weird, but we'll see that eventually, and hey, that got me through the battle, sweet. Really though, Sloane, the Totalizer can damage you, but if you're lucky, it shouldn't be too bad. And here's also a first instance of getting a Medapart after a row battle. Like here we got Tyranno Laser. High power, but its rate of success and the amount of uses are so low, it's honestly not worth it at all. I'll get more into that system in a moment. My clothes got all messed up. Thank you for taking care of Sloane. Your next, Spike. Get him. I'm gonna take you useless Medaparts. Also, I'd like to note Samantha just used the wrong kind of Yor. And it's time for Spike. Spike only uses Cyan Dog at this point. Cyan Dog is a ranged Medabot that only uses, I think, shoot and aim shoot. I don't think it has anything on its head that's really annoying either. This is honestly the easiest of the 3 row battles. I'm going to keep on saying meta battles. I don't know why. That we're going to be doing in a row here. Just because I think his HP and power are the lowest. But he might give you trouble just due to luck. In fact, that's what entirely makes this game hard or easy, depending on how good your luck is. As usual, start off with Scout just so you can increase your rate of success just a bit. You should be able to hit him no matter what anyway, but it's good to raise it. And beyond that, just Peepo Hammer or Sword. I prefer to use Peepo Hammer because I like chain reaction, but yeah. The choice between Berserk and Strike doesn't really matter much here in the early game because you only have one Medabot, but later on it is more important. Either way, the system where you gain a meta part at the end of a row battle. The way that works is that you randomly get one of the pieces from the Medabots that was in the battle on the enemy team. So right now, I can get either of any of Cyan Dog's 4 parts. It's entirely random, which one you get, so you could end up having to do some save spamming if you want to actually get a part you want from a certain storyline battle. Not so much with random battles, though. But the thing is about that system is that it's double-sided. If you lose a battle, at least with random battles, storyline battles like this, I think it's just a game over no matter what. If you lose a row battle, you will lose one of your parts. Thankfully, during this LP, I don't think I lose a single time in terms of the on-screen or even at all, really. But that can potentially be pretty scary, especially if you have a part you really like Peepo Hammer, and you could potentially lose it. Hence why my word of caution to you, if you're playing along on an actual console like the Wii U, I think, Virtual Console version of this game that's out there, save/save state after every single battle. It comes in handy. And that was Spike, nothing really annoying. You've got a lot of guts to make me lose, and we get his left arm assault. Not too bad, rate of success is decent, and its charge and radiation are pretty good too. I'll go into the stats eventually. It wasn't fair. How pitiful, you lost against him. I'll face you next. Alright, time for Samantha, who's honestly the hardest out of the 3. Her Medabot is Peppercat. Peppercat is fast. Like, I think you don't need Scout to use Scout in order to hit her, but it really helps to do it. In fact, I recommend doing that first turn. But she's also the first instance of us seeing a status ailment, because I think all 3 of her attacks are Thunder. And what Thunder inflicts upon you usually is the Stop status ailment, which stops you for a certain amount of time. It doesn't matter where you are, if you're in the charge or the radiation phase of the battle, it will freeze you. Early game at least, though, it's not too much to worry about because status ailments don't usually last that long, like, there it goes. But later on, even that split second there can be kind of important, so there are ways to avoid status ailments, and I recommend taking them. But here, it's not too bad. But thankfully, Peppercat decided to be really not kind to me and die in one shot. I wished it was that easy to me as a child because she killed me a lot as a child. Well, made my function cease because we're not killing anyone here. And for beating her, I ended up getting her Light Circuit Head, which is actually pretty decent. 30 armor, rate of success of 14, so it hits fairly often. Power's nice, and since it actually inflicts stop on someone, that can be pretty useful. Problem is, it's a female-type meta part. How dare you make a fool of me? Amazing! I got some great shots of the row battle. I can see the headline now. Miracle victory. Miracle? Wait. Now what? Didn't we settle this fight? We were playing by kids' rules, so the win doesn't count. Ugh. You're one of these people, aren't you? I'll show you something real amazing using the real rules. Peppercat, transport! Oh boy, here we go again. Spike, Sloane, transport your Medabots too. Oh boy. 3 against 1 is cheating. Technically not. Sorry, official rules. You better be prepared. Hold on a sec. What? Dude, can that really be done? Now hold on. Just what did you do to my Medabot? A Kuwagata model doesn't have the data to even do a technique like that. Don't ask me. I'm gonna wet my pants. Well, apparently our Medabot is awesome. Cool. I don't know what you did, but I refuse to accept this loss. Someday you'll be the one doing laundry. Is that a threat? How is that a threat? You haven't seen The Last of Us, and sadly, no, we haven't. Wasn't that amazing? What was that just now? Don't ask me, I don't know. I really don't know. I agree with him. Anyway, Erica, what's the headline of the school's paper gonna be? How about Awesome Medabot appears? What do you think? I think I already know what your character trope is. I like Awesome Metafighter appears. No, your Medabot was awesome, not you, Icky. Ah! Ow, that hurts. You're my friend? Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm gonna go start writing the article, so why don't you go and look for robot opponents around school? And we can do just that, but I'll get into that again in a moment. Well, guess I'll go look around school for some row battles. You're gonna see me do a white transition right there. That is gonna be my transition for saving in this LP, so if you ever see that, just assume I'm saving. And I just showed you how to switch mana parts. Basically, just go to that screen and switch them. I'm gonna stick with the basic Rokusho setup just because I like it a bit more. But in particular, I'm talking about this because the right arm I got was a shoot part, and anything that is a shoot part aims for a specific Medabot at any point in time. It's random, however, with the Makuagata medal, it'll prioritize aiming for those with shoot parts. So let's talk to people again. That row battle rocked! I agree, because I did it. Entirely me. Oh, hey, random battle! I'll give you my meta parts if we win. What this guy has is a Kintaro Medabot. It's another two-legged type like ourselves that prioritizes, in like Kuwagata, the physical attack varieties, generally Strike and Berserk. Though I forget if they're both Berserk or not. No, there's a Strike and a Berserk. Kintaro, though, kind of a glass cannon, I suppose, for early game. Can output the damage if you have the right parts on, or right metal to pair with it, but its HP isn't the best. Shouldn't give you too much trouble. Just scout to start off just so you have some increased chances, and then Peepo Hammer, really. If you're playing Medabeat, the strategies are a bit different, but mostly it's Missile is basically your equivalent to Peepo Hammer at this point. In case of actually why you're wondering why I'm playing Rokusho over Medabeat, it's because not only is this just the version I grew up with, but I prefer Rokusho starting Medabots attacks to Medabeat, because I feel I can do a lot more damage and have more safe strategies with them in the long term. In terms of how I'm going to be handling random battles for this LP, though, generally it's just going to be, if there's a new Medabot, I show it off. That's basically the way it is. If there's no new Medabots, that's about it. I will talk about the random battles you're going to encounter in an area, though, when we first enter it. Or at least I'll try to. I might forget to later on. And I should mention that every area also has its own battleground to it. Like, right now we have the plane, which is just really good for two-legged people. And here we got press from the sumo press. I will never use it. It's decent, though, I suppose, if you want to use it in the early game. Medabot may have lost the row battle, but he'll take anyone on in a relay race, maybe. What I'm going to do now is show off one of the other two paddles you can show off around here. The girl with a Churly Bear Medabot. Churly Bear is actually very annoying, which is why I'm showing it off. Because it has the press ability. This is basically what Sumo Press would have done. However, the thing about press is that it doubles its own success rate upon use, and it does a lot of damage. Thankfully, Churly Bear itself is a floating type Medabot, which is not the best. Well, the thing is about floaters is that they do okay in any environment, but that also means they don't excel in anything, so they'll always go kind of decently fast. And as you'll see, Churly Bear's press attacks are nothing to screw around with, along with its overall higher HP at this point for meta parts. Let's see, I just took out one of its arms, but I believe it ends up attacking with the other one, so you'll be able to see just how much damage press can do. Thankfully, later on in the game, there are ways to mitigate attacks like press that overall do a lot of damage, but I have no access to that at the moment. Also, I should mention, what we're listening to right now is the first battle theme in the game. There are 3 battle themes. You can switch them upon checking out the options menu at the start of the game. And, at least in the early game, the way I'm handling the battle themes is that I switch them every 2 or 3 parts. Later on, I tend to forget to do that, so it'll happen a bit less, but still, that's the way it goes. And there go my legs again! Honestly, though, head parts aside, legs are the parts you want to keep around in row battles, just because they give you the extra advantage on the battlefield, as well as determine how well you evade attacks. Or, they're most of the part of that. I'll go more into stats, probably next part or something, but yeah. I should also mention that later on, I'm actually going to be speeding up the row battles a bit. Not too much, probably by 1.5 times at most. Just because a lot of row battles are kind of dead air. You're waiting for stuff to happen and reacting to it. Oh god. I will tell you for a fact, if you play along with me, or if you're playing the game yourself, anytime you see something hit your head, your heart kind of stops. Because you never expect it to happen, because there is a defense chance for Medabots to just defend. Generally, it's the legs that do that first, maybe your left or right arms. But seeing it go right for the head is always scary. Later games in the series would actually allow you to choose which Medabots you defend with. And there I got the spreader. Decent HP and rate of success, but there are other Medabots I like to use. And I did just say a series. Also, this is where I did my grind to level 10. Why did I do it? Because I learned my first Medaforce, Spiral Bolt. And as well, the Kuwagata medal evolves to its next stage, because similarly to Pokemon, your medals can do that. And Medaforce, I'll get into during the next row battle. Either way, I mentioned this is actually a series. What we're playing technically right now is, in Japan, Medabots Core, which is a remake of a Game Boy Color game. Also, I'm showing off the more detailed metal stuff. That's where the Medaforces are. And if you go to the right once more, you would see your basic stats. These are technically your proficiencies with certain abilities, like I had Strike 11, Berserk 14. The more you use an ability type, the higher level it gets. I believe it never stops growing, so you can technically just go on forever. But you really want to pay attention and really play to their strengths, maybe upgrade their weaknesses a bit. The Medabots series in Japan, though, is actually still ongoing. The most recent entry, I believe, was in 2015. It's just the fact they don't bring it over. Also, we're fighting a teacher. This fight's pretty important, though. He's using the Tankar type of Medabot, and 2 of them. So this is also our first multi-Medabot row battle. In any row battle where there's more than just one Medabot, the one on the top is the most important, because that's your leader Medabot. And if that one ceases function, that side loses. So in this case, if I destroy the head Medapart of the top Tankar, I win. But the Tankar is very important because first off, it mostly uses shoot type attacks. They're not too lethal, and I believe it's a wheel type leg, so it doesn't do too well here in the forest, which is inside the school for some reason. Which, by the way, in forests, 2-leggeds have the advantage, hence why Rokusho is moving so fast. But the important thing about this fight is that this is the first opportunity, and the only one for a while actually, where you can get the Victory Head type Medapart, which is their head. You want to get this now. I recommend saving it before going into this battle because of it. Because the Victory Head Medapart, which I don't get in this fight, but I had to replay the section because I forgot to save afterwards, prevents you from getting inflicted with any status ailments. And that is very important. Eventually, you're going to want at least 3 of them. I believe I get one of the arms in this fight, but during my replay, after forgetting to save, I do thankfully get the head. So I have the head starting next part. Basic strategy for this fight, though, just go all out. Usually they don't get enough chances to attack. In fact, once you get rid of the arms, they can't attack at all, which is pretty funny. Either way, the Medaforce that I got Spiral Bolts. What Medaforce is, you can actually see it there on the bottom left, MF 20 out of 80. You gain Medaforce by either using your leg parts to boost up to 40 and getting attacked. Getting attacked raises it by 20. Medaforces are essentially your super attacks in this game. Like Spiral Bolt is a single target action that targets the Medabot that is closest to the center of the field. It could be this, like right now I believe it would target the leader. It throws a giant wave of energy at the opponent that damages all their Medaparts that are active. I think it does about 30-something damage, which is really good. In fact, it's because of that the Rokusho medal should never really leave your field, because that is just such a good Medaforce. You gain Medaforces as you level up. I think the next one is at like level 30 to 40. And they vary in use. Some of them are attacks, some of them are support abilities, some of them just heal, others inflict status ailments. It depends on the medal. So we'll see more of those later on. But I believe I am getting ready to demo the other one. No, I'm not. I'm just going to go outright and kill this guy. Okay, you're not even worth it. Watcha. You'll eventually see me use a Medaforce. They're very important during boss fights, and in the early game especially, they're very important because they're just your best way of doing damage to a large amount of targets. And I got the arm, but like I said, I had to replay the section anyway, so I have the victory head starting next part, and that is very important to do. Also, yeah, they take Medabots into schools more often than not just because toys at school. In terms of how I was introduced to Medabots, I'll get more into detail about that later, but essentially, I watched the cartoon when I was a kid. Well, technically anime, but it was a cartoon to me at the time, damn it. Because I think that was Fox Kids at the time? I don't even think it was 4Kids yet. I think it was just Fox Kids. Was that Kids WB that turned into 4Kids? I don't remember. I lost count of my childhood cartoons. Also, talking to the NPCs around here, we're learning that apparently someone's tickling girls with Medabots. I think in the Japanese version, he was actually like flipping up their skirts. But don't quote me on that. I've obviously never played the game in Japanese because I don't know Japanese. But also important is that there are also other people that fight you in areas. Like that guy had a singular Kintaro. Like before, if I've seen the Medabot before that they have, or Medabots, I'm going to be editing the battle out. But with that, I'm going to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 3, we're going to be exploring the rest of our school, and hopefully finding someone to talk to in the process that can actually progress the plot. See you guys then!